Y'all, y'all don't even know. And then I'm about to get under this hot ass cover. I'm out of breath. Hello, welcome back. If you are back, and welcome if you are new. Um, this is Let Her Bake. Why am I like dying? I'm having a stroke. This is Let Her. Okay, can we start over? God, yeah. Welcome back. If you're back, welcome if you're new to Let Her Bake. I am your host, Suzanne Baker. Um, we're diving right in because why did I have like a mental breakdown over this last night? Um, First, if you're new here, my name is Suzanne. I'm 22. I live in the Midwest, and I'm doing this for me, but also for you. I feel like I've had to delete social media lately because I don't feel like I relate. I feel like I've been comparing more than relating. And that's kind of what today's about, just like finding myself through all of this. So, like I said, let's dive right in. I only have a little bit. I have to go to work in a minute, so I do have a clock over here if you see me like. Um, but yeah, I'm just like sitting, like me and my boyfriend were sitting in the other room, and I had made an intro and outro, and at first I had like done it on my phone, like while I was giving myself a pedicure the other day, and then I was like, like, no, it doesn't have to be perfect, right? Like, if you're doing something like this, like, put as much time and effort as you want into it, especially if you're doing it for yourself. But I don't put little effort into things that I enjoy. So I was like, okay, like I need to make a banner, because I just want a banner. Like I want to have my things together. I remember like being like 15 and like you'd see like all the girls like Generation DIY and oh my goodness, I'm blanking on her name, but she used to do like the water marbling. Oh my god, I could never figure that shit out. And I wanted to be them so bad, not even funny. So last night, my boyfriend and I were talking about this because I'm putting all this shit together. We're in like our computer room, and I was like, okay, like what should episode 2 be about? And like he's like, whatever you want. And he's just like asking me questions, and like I'm starting to spiral, thinking like, oh my god, what am I doing? Is this even worth it? Who's gonna listen? Da, 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 da. What was that first episode? I was all over the place. Like I just like went so crazy about it. And I was like, I can't do this. And I like ran away and came in here and started crying on the bed. And my boyfriend is amazing. Because of course, like I'm laying there like a baby, like, come comfort me. But I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say it. And so of course he did. He came and comforted me. And he's also trying to start a podcast. I don't know what it's called yet, but when I do, it will be plugged. Please go listen. That's my baby. That's my baby boo. Okay. To my man. Thank you to my man. Anyway, so we're just sitting here talking. He's showing me his, and I'm just like, okay, like what am I freaking out for? I said I was gonna do this for me, regardless of anyone else watches. I need to get this shit out, bruh. Like the things that I hold in and the thoughts that are in my head are there for no reason other than probably chemical imbalances and all the shit that I've put in my brain off of social media and comparison and trauma too. I hate to use the word trauma, but just things in the past that I really haven't deep dived and gotten through. So that's what we're talking about today. I did finally get a little notes down on what I wanted to kind of talk to you guys about today. Um, so a little bit about me. Um, my junior year, my junior year of high school, I believe second semester is when COVID hit. And right around that time, I was working my first restaurant job. And, a lot of the people were like in their early 20s when I had met them. They were a lot older than me. I was still, what, 16, 17. And this is when like vaping was on the rise too. And so like I'd hit their vapes at work, and then we went into lockdown, and I was like, okay, I need a vape. And I was just out here doing shit. Like when I think back on it, I'm like, what the fuck? No wonder my parents were going insane. Like, no wonder. No wonder. And so I remember like driving like almost an hour, it felt like, to buy these vapes off of this boy. And it was one for me and then one for a good friend of mine. And I stopped vaping in January of this year. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you. Applause. Thank you. No, I know I don't deserve applause for a consequence or a decision that I made and that I had to get myself out of. But I do think it's something that I can be proud of myself for, because I started so young, and that's a habit that's hard to break. Trust. I tried to quit so many times. In the midst of that, I started to smoke weed. And, as all teenagers do, well, not all, but most, I also started to drink. And I was a wild child. Like, me and my parents were constantly getting into it. And, when I think back on that, it hurts my heart. I know that, I know, why do I feel like I'm about to cry? Hold on. I know that, as children, sometimes we go through so many things, and as parents, we may not fully understand it because there's no guidebook to parenting, and every child is different, and every parent is different. A little bit more on me. I was adopted. I have, a lot more in the background of things than I think that they could understand, even though they adopted me, right? I went through sexual abuse at school. I went through bullying. I went through all these different things. And unfortunately, for a while, I didn't know how to talk to them, and I didn't feel like I could. And I think that did create a rift between us, especially when I got into my teenage years. So the depression was fast acting. The anxiety was fast acting once I got into high school. After being bullied like all through middle school, like I was scared to talk to people. I was scared to talk to people, scared to be around people, scared to be seen. Um, and then on top of that, I was very lonely. Like I remember, I always tell this story because I remember I love the movie Titanic, and I had gotten my first iPhone, and my parents were letting me be on social media and stuff. I know, like when I was younger, my mom was like, "You can't have Snapchat," but I was a freshman in high school now, so like none of that even like mattered, I guess. And I sat there and I was like, okay, like I'm gonna sit here and watch all 3 hours. I'm not gonna touch my phone, and by the end of it, like I'm gonna have at least one notification on my phone, like at least one notification. Bitch, not even the fucking health app telling me to go to sleep. Not even zero notifications. That destroyed my little high school brain. Like that destroyed my brain, dude. I broke down. I was so 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 hurt by that. So, fast forward into these years where now I'm in a job, and I'm meeting these adults, and they actually enjoy my company. We laugh, we talk at work. They let me hit their vape, right? And so obviously that shit became addicting. All of it, the friendships I made with these older people, as well as the substances that I was doing in the midst of it. I went to college, obviously years later, and I did some shit. I really did. And I look back on it, and I get embarrassed. And I don't want to live with embarrassment. That's like one of my, I always say, like, in Inside Out, how like Joy runs her like control board, like embarrassment, he runs mine. Okay. And I think back on that time, and I know exactly why I had to leave school. I wasn't being true to myself at all, and I I don't even think I knew how to do that at a young age. So that led into a lot of substance abuse, especially with the marijuana. Um, I had been smoking weed since I was 17. I had been vaping since I was 16. And As much as I like kind of hate to admit it now, the toll that took on me was tremendous. I didn't even recognize it. Right now, I think today's day 7 or day 6. I don't know that I have not smoked weed. Um, and the mental clarity is insane. I know in the last episode we talked about how I had quit for some months due to unemployment because I couldn't afford it. And that quit was very, very different. That quit was not something I wanted to do. It was something I had to do to make sure that I would keep a roof over my head, that me and my family would be fed. And my mother was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. Um, and by the time that we had gotten her there to, get all of this shit figured out, it was too late. She was losing her life. And I said I wasn't going to go back. I told myself I wouldn't go back. I won't go back. I won't go back. And I did. I went back. Um, I didn't know how to handle it. We had just lost dad 2 years ago. And as you all know, my high school years, I didn't know how to talk to my parents. I didn't know how to talk to anyone. I was leaning on substances. Whew, it's getting deep. So sorry, guys. So this quit is very different because I'm doing it for me. I have so many dreams, like we talked about in the last episode. I keep saying, like, I'm gonna be on Bridgerton. Shonda, I'm coming for you, hun. I've never acted in my life, but like, I'm coming. I read those books. I'm obsessed with the show that she's doing, on top of being a black woman, on top of making sure that we're all represented in this show. Chef's kiss. I'm coming for you, hun. But I have so many dreams, and I kind of started to think in my head, like, what is holding me back? I'm listening to the podcast. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. Why is nothing changing? And there was only one common denominator, and it was the weed. Um, because when I met Jordan, Jordan is like sober. He does not. Well, that's my boyfriend's name. He does not drink like that, like to get drunk. I was blacking out, honey. He doesn't smoke weed. He wasn't vaping. He still doesn't vape. But and he's like, he has emetophobia, so like he is not cool with the vomiting, like not at all. And he was a big inspiration for me to see someone so comfortable in being themselves without any substance. Like, kudos to him. Again, if that's the word. So I kind of cut back on the drinking very quickly. But all this to say, I think that there's a lot of dangerous, destructive, maybe rhetoric around marijuana use. Um, and you might hate to hear me say this, but I'm definitely going to set the record straight. If you are smoking that shit multiple times a day, every single day, you might have a problem. You might. You know, I don't know you. I don't know your circumstances. You may think you're fine, and that's totally okay. But truly, truly sit back and think, is this what you want for yourself? To be in this state of grog and fog and heaviness constantly, doing God knows what. I thought I was functioning on that shit. I really thought I was functioning on that shit. And fucking 6 days off of it, and I feel the best I ever have. And the depression and anxiety hasn't just gone away. Um, like we talked about in the last episode, getting help is so hard. And again, in no way, shape, or form am I telling you to do this on your own and not get help. The uh, wonderful telehealth lady that I spoke to told me, take care of yourself. And a lot of people will tell you don't do this on your own. I am an egotistical son of a bitch, and I knew I could do it on my own because we have the power over our own decisions. That I do believe there is a dependency and an addiction that is built, but I knew what I wanted for myself. I kept saying I was going to quit, and the most important thing that you can have with yourself is trust. And if you keep telling yourself, I'm going to quit, and you do it for a couple days and then you come back, you're only breaking that trust between yourself. And so then when I try to go to the gym, because girl, you also can't breathe. Let's start there. But then when I try to go to the gym, I couldn't keep that promise to myself. Then when I tried to meditate or journal every day or whatever it is, I couldn't keep those promises to myself. So how am I dealing with all of this? How am I dealing with all of this on my own? One, I'm not fully on my own. My boyfriend, my cousin, they are an amazing support team for me. After losing my parents, they are really all that I have. You know, I have a lot of family shit going on the back end that I'm still trying to figure out. And I really do think I need a therapist for that because I don't know how to set boundaries. I have a lot of anxiety around that, telling people no and standing up for myself. So that in itself is proof that there are areas that and aspects that I do need help with. I can't just do all of this on my own. But I want to love myself. I want to build confidence. I want to make my dreams come true. And I think that I can take those baby steps on my own. Um, until I can reach the point where I can afford some good therapy, some real therapy. Um, and so how am I overcoming all of this? How am I trying to navigate all of this, with the shitty fucking job also that drives me insane? One thing, I have been drowning myself in podcasts. One podcast I absolutely love is A Really Good Cry. I'm not going to butcher her name. I hear it every day and I just feel like I don't pronounce it right. But A Really Good Cry. Go look it up right now. It is amazing. The guests that she has on there, the stories they tell, the advice is things that I feel like I wasn't getting, just from a gym girly telling me to go to the gym 6 days a week. Like, no offense to them, their tea, they doing their thing, but that's just not something I wasn't ready for that. I wasn't ready for that at all. Um, so a lot of podcasts, and one of the episodes though on there, one of the guests kind of got into harboring all this knowledge can build ego, and just really trying to make sure that you're applying what you are taking in. So, as well as listening to these podcasts, I also am taking notes, and I'm going back and I'm finding where I can replace my unhealthy coping mechanisms with things that I am learning. Um, as well as sharing it with my family and my friends. Something else I feel like everyone talks about too. I'm sorry if you guys can hear the honking. It's school time. The buses are out, telling the kiddos, come on. Something else I've been trying to get into again is journaling. I have a journal that I was so proud. Like, I got through every page. I journaled like all year. And I just haven't gotten back into that. Sometimes I thought about it like I'm scared to explore those feelings. Like, I don't want to write down how I'm feeling right now. Um, but I'm slowly trying to get past that. The journal that I have right now is like my like notes, dreams, whatever. Like, it's just a bunch of bullshit journal, but this is like my feelings, manifestations, manifestations, affirmations, gratitude, hey, all that. So I like to have a lot of different ones. I want to get like a specific manifestation journal, a specific podcast journal, YouTube idea journal, whatever. And just really write and put on the pages and make come to life what I want to see, what I need. Yay, yay. Another thing I learned on A Really Good Cry was a guest came on talking about mantra meditation, which I had never heard of. And I think Roddy was also talking about it. And that changed my life. They kind of talked about how sometimes you can feel like you're meditating wrong. I would try to do like the guided meditations and I just could not focus. I just could not do it. I couldn't get into it. It was not working for me. And now, like, I'll get in the shower, I won't turn any music on, whatever, and I will just repeat a mantra in my head. Um, I don't remember, again, I'm not going to butcher words, but like, I don't remember the one that I was watching, but I don't even know what Om means. Please don't come for me. Please. But just having it in my head and that be what I'm repeating has been helpful to bring myself into focus with my body, my breathing, and it has been life changing. So if you feel like you're meditating wrong, first, you're not. It just may not be the right type of meditation for you. Give mantra meditation a try. Um, what I do now, because I used to like wake up and just start fucking smoking, dude. Like that's insane. 6 a.m. up and smoking. Fucking YouTube. Fucking. I'm sorry about the cursing, but recommended me a video, like I guess like talking about the benefits of that shit. I was like, what the fuck? Get that shit off my fucking page. Like I'm done with that shit. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. Again, if it's doing whatever it's doing for you, great. I think we need to stop acting like it's not detrimental to some people. I think that's what's upsetting me. Anytime I want to talk about this to someone, oh, it's not addictive. It's a plant. Da 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 da. It was destroying my mental health on top of the already destroyed mental health or health. I'm sitting here ignoring my feelings, dude. Come on. Come on. Uh-uh. So what I've been doing is when I wake up in the morning, I just lay here. I just lay in bed and I do my mantra meditation. I just lay here and kind of meditate and bring myself kind of to peace almost because I also used to wake up or now that I'm meditating, I kind of don't, but I also used to wake up with a lot of anxiety because of the job that I have. And all of this kind of leads me to my last and next point, or my next and last point, um, which is acceptance. And that is in any area you can think. I had to accept that, yes, I do have mental health issues, and that is okay. That is okay. A lot of us do, and that's something that I just need to work on because I want to be happy. I want to live a beautiful happy life with my man, and I want to make my dreams come true and all these other things. Acceptance that, death happens. Parents die. Okay, that was that was aggressive. But, you know, an acceptance that my marijuana use was way too heavy and I needed to stop that shit. Acceptance that I needed to take a break from some of the people in my life to grow. Because, if you want to change something and you look around you and your environment is only promoting those things, get the fuck out. You're not about to change shit. You're not about to change shit. Trust and believe that. So, all that to say, I don't think I'm no professional. I don't think I should be on here giving nobody advice. This is just shit that works for me. And it has been working. And like I said before, just quitting weed and doing it for me has built a level of trust in myself over the last 7 days I've never had in my entire life. And I feel stronger to keep showing up for myself in these videos and this podcast and in my journal and in my mantra meditations and all these other things in my life. And my last point of acceptance, my little shitty ass fucking job out there. I accept that I need her to pay my bills and to make said dreams come true. So accept it all. Stop pushing it down and avoiding it. Accept it. Let it come up. Cry about it. Cry hard. I haven't stopped crying. Mm-mm. Just keep it. Accept it. Hold it. Hold space for it. Yes. Um, but that's it. I have to go. I have that shitty ass job to go to. So I love you. If you stayed this long, it's appreciated. And I hope you come back. And I hope you like this.